Hi, my name is Makeda Voletta, and I'm also known as the Body Scientist. And I am here today to make a video about my Sacred Yoni Power class. I have been working with yoni eggs for 10 years now and teaching women for 8. And I have a class that I've taught for the past 8 years called Sensual Strength Training that combines egg work with dance and overall strength training for the entire body to help increase strength, awareness, and control, elasticity. And I have YouTube videos about that, so if you're interested in the Sensual Strength Training, you can check that out. But in the last year, I developed a class called Sacred Yoni Power. And this class is different because it focuses mostly on exercises cultivating the connection between our heart and our yonis, and a variety of exercises, ovarian massage, also working on cultivating ovarian energy, breast massage. So it's going deeper into that, and there's also a lot of conversation and sharing of stories as well, because there's much to be learned from listening to each other's stories and sharing our experiences. I believe that's very important as well for learning. So the Sacred Yoni Power class, it is not a must to use an egg, but it definitely makes it more powerful. It makes the exercises more powerful. And you can check out my various videos on YouTube about the yoni egg. I have an intro to cosmic yoni egg and an advanced one, a video on vaginal weightlifting, Kegels, all those things. So I won't get too much into that now. However, the one thing I think is very important to increase not just overall body consciousness, because I notice as a trainer, a lot of what I do is to get people to pay attention to what they're doing and be present. So many people are unaware of how they're moving their body. They don't have control over their own body. And these are the larger muscles in the body. So when it comes down to the smaller muscles that support our sexual organs and our womb, those are also very important. And having control over that, it greatly affects the intensity of your orgasms. It greatly affects your experience in birth. It greatly affects your ability to even release trauma and not hold on to things. So it is very important that we not just be a vessel that's just there. You know, we have to have ways to release things, let go of things, and, you know, mix things up in a good way. And so, you know, with matriarchal traditions, I do have videos as well talking about sacred sexuality. And when you're dealing with matriarchal traditions and goddesses, you're always dealing with sexual energy. There's no bypassing that when you're talking about female shamanism, the left-handed path, okay? What most people talk about and do now is the right-handed path. But all cultures are matriarchal first. That's not unique to any one group of people. All throughout Asia, all throughout Africa, all throughout Europe, all throughout the Americas, throughout the Polynesian Islands, South America, the Caribbean, they were all matriarchal first, okay? And there's lots of proof of that. And I can provide you with a very long list of books that clearly state this evidence, okay? Even the burial grounds of priestesses, you know, the ancient burial grounds of priestesses are buried with a lot more things than the men were buried with, okay? And different things like obsidian mirrors and things of that nature, okay? And, you know, our yonis are a dark place. Our womb is a dark place, dark and warm, wet, moist place, like the earth. When traditionally, in most cultures, when people die, they were buried back into the earth, back into the womb of the mother to be transformed to come back again, okay? And stones and crystals come from the earth, come from the belly of the earth. And they are some of the most ancient things on the planet, that and trees. And so putting a yoni egg inside of you and then working to absorb information and energy and learning how to become more conscious of your movement, because you can, just working with the egg and doing nothing, your muscles are going to work, you'll still receive benefits from it, but there's more that you can do with it. One thing I always want to encourage women is that over the 10-year period that I've been working with eggs, there's always a new level to go to. There's always a way to make it more complicated. There's always more control to gain. There's always more sensitivity to gain. I never get to the point where I feel like, oh, I'm good, I don't have to do this anymore. And as a trainer, I've always wanted people to understand that, because a lot of times people just work with me for 5 sessions and they expect to have all their goals come true in such a short period of time, and they're not willing to really put in the work and put in the years and understand that greatness is built over years. When you see Olympians, they don't win gold medals and then say, oh, I don't have to go to practice anymore. People don't get to the NBA and say, I don't have to go to practice anymore. No. Even the people that win the championships and the gold medals still go to practice, they still have coaches, you still work on that. Not only because if you don't use it, you lose it, but also because your skills can always get better. You can always get better. And, a lot of all the patriarchal traditions are responsible for, this severe suppression of sexuality with women throughout the world. It's not just in America, a lot of countries. Women are, raped, brutally raped, nothing is done about it. Women are prevented from holding certain positions. Even now, in certain religions that are, supposed to be traditionally African or traditionally Native American, and they're telling women they can't lead certain ceremonies, or, you're tainted with your menstrual cycle, which is all not true, or that we can't touch certain drums. That's not true. And I'm not going to get too much into that in here, but I have videos where I talk about that. I have other people that I can recommend you to if you want to know more about that, but that is totally not true. And so when we see Jesus on the cross, with hanging on the cross, bleeding, and he died for our sins, but, there are more ancient depictions of women with their legs wide open with menstrual blood pouring out, with the baby's head coming out, or nothing. And in matriarchal traditions, in female shamanism, women are born into something. People are born into something. In the patriarchal right-handed tradition, men die into something. They have to cut something or harm something to get blood, whereas menstrual blood is creative blood that would have been used to nourish a life. No one had to get hurt. There's no spiritual debt or anything in that way. And so these depictions of the woman with her legs wide open, you can find that in Africa. You find it, the Atabe in Puerto Rico. They're finding that in caves in Utah and California. It's been found in African countries, in Ireland, above the church. They would have that. They call them Shiva nagigs or something, and they rubbed it before walking into the church, because no matter what, we all came from the womb of our mother. Fathers are important, but, it's like, without the mother, it's like we live on Mother Earth, not Father Earth, okay? And the thing is that in patriarchal religions, where people sometimes try to say, oh yeah, well, God is the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. And women not growing up seeing these images and instead being told, oh, keep your legs closed, oh, suppress yourself. So then you have 40-year-old women who've never had orgasms, and that's not acceptable, because you will never meet a man who's 40 years old who says he never had an orgasm. I've never heard that before, okay? There are men who are affected by severe religious strictness as well. I've seen that, so that does exist. But as a whole, generally speaking on the planet, there's so many women who are haven't had orgasms or don't take control of their sex life, and it shouldn't be somebody else that has to give you an orgasm. If you've never had an orgasm, it's not because you have the wrong partners, something is wrong with you. Something is not right with you. Like you have certain blockages. You should be able to have orgasms on your own. That should have started in childhood, okay, on your own. And so that's one reason why I'm not a huge fan of teaching couples classes, because I feel like it's really important for people to do the work on themselves first. Like everyone has a lot of work to do on themselves first. And then once you do that, then you can come together and combine it. I feel the same way with training. I really don't like, doing personal training sessions with 2 people unless they're really similar in the level that they're on. But otherwise, it's like, if you really want to improve, you have to fine-tune and tailor yourself and then take it to that next level. It's all about progressions. And over the years, so many things do unfold with the egg. So I always encourage women to not stop, to keep trying different things. And in my book that's almost done, I've been working on it forever, but that's also because I am always learning so much more. And I'm also super busy, dealing with egg orders and pole stuff and other stuff in my life. But there's a lot of different things and suggestions and exercises that I will provide in that book. But in this class, my Sacred Yoni Power class, we get into those things. We also go over vaginal weightlifting and, working with 2 eggs. And these are 2 different medium eggs of mine. This is a red calcite and a red jasper. And they're both medium, but the red jasper is smaller than the red calcite. So all eggs don't have the same shape. Sometimes they're more circular, sometimes they're more pointy. Sometimes, in my largest range, my mediums range, but what I consider to be a small egg is really small and really